Yes. So, you're standing at this iron gate in this underground tunnel. And you've just been fiddling with the locks when you see the shadow cast by someone holding a lantern as they're coming down the stairs, and you hear the footsteps coming down the stairs towards you, the thud of like heavy hobnail boots on the stairs. What are you doing?
How far is the corner that we came around from here? And if I am quick, can I hide behind it?
I'm going to ask you to roll Dex to see how quickly you can get back behind that corner if you would like, or Stealth.
Oh, Stealth? I mean,
Stealth, actually, I think is the most appropriate one, yes. You can get back out of sight quickly. Yeah, so as Franco ducks back around this corner, Morgan and Mortimer, what are you doing?
It would take a stealth roll to hide, wouldn't it, anyway?
Yes.
I think I'm dreadful at that, but I shall have a quick check.
And really the only place to hide is back around the corner, because other than this is it's a corridor. It's not any alcoves or anything in it apart from where it turns round back towards the bone chamber.
Yeah, if Franco heads that way, I think I'll probably head the same way.
Okay, give me a roll, please.
Because Morgan's faster, isn't he?
Yeah, Morgan, what would you like to do? You're muted.
I was thinking, but the gate is an iron gate, but you can see through.
Yeah, it's like iron bars.
Oh, so okay, I will try to hide as well. I think then.
All right. Give it a roll. Let's see if you're all hidden by the time.
I'm bad at stealth.
Steps.
But I will use the 3 lucks to succeed.
Okay. Yeah, 3 points of luck. That turns that into a success. You're back behind the corner, not quite as swiftly and stealthily as Franco, but you're out of sight.
I'll try to follow. Now second.
Alright. Sometimes maybe fear just gives you that little adrenaline boost. That was an extreme success. Yes.
I could have only rolled one better than that.
Like a ghost in the night. You're all 3 of you out of sight as this figure. You can just see if any of you peering around, or are you staying well back?
I think I'm gonna slightly lean, but...
Well, would I be able to use the fact that I got quite a good stealth roll to peek as stay hidden?
Yeah, you can peek round the corner and stay hidden. Yeah.
I'm assuming hiding, I'd be covering the light or closing it in some fashion.
Yeah, so you are in complete darkness now, apart from the light that's being held by the man who's just stepped into view down towards the gate, looking round. And I think only Franco has seen him before, but correct me if I'm wrong. You recognise, Franco, the manservant who almost caught you at the gate of the estate a couple of nights ago. He's I think you did hear Lucinda addressed him as Willoughby.
This isn't the same person who was with the coach that tried to catch Franco as well. I can't remember. He was with...
the coachman. I don't think it's the same man. I think I might have given him a different name, so it's not the same man.
It's okay.
And you can see he's dressed, servant's clothes, but fairly sturdy boots. His lantern in one hand, and you can also see from the light of the lantern that there seems to be a claw mark across his face, like this deep gouge scratch across his face. And you can see some bandages wrapped around his neck as though he's a recent injury. There's some blood has seeped through them here and there. And sort of raising his lantern, he looks back and forth down this corridor. Hello? Hello? Going insane. And he then turns and starts to make his way back up the stairs, muttering to himself. Just rats, must be rats. She's dead. Thump, thump, thump. Footsteps head upstairs and the light dies away.
You guys see that? The wounds?
I've got a very bad feeling about this. I think I've got an idea what might be going on.
You heard what I heard?
Yeah.
He says she's dead. He was not referring it as it. Was referring as she.
I think we need to have this conversation somewhere else, and we should get out of this tunnel.
But
Yep,
as
we need
quick
to
as
get
possible.
out, washed, changed, and then we can have a cup of tea and we can talk about this.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
we'll have to move quickly if what I think's happening is happening.
It's a little early for brandy, indeed.
It's never too early. Let's get going. And who wants to
I
go
think
first? I've got a
the
feeling
marks on
Franco,
on his face. I think that was the girl. I saw her fighting yesterday.
I think she's changing into something. Let's get moving.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep quiet.
So you're going to try and you head back down this corridor, back to the nest chamber with the bones and the bits of bodies crunching beneath your feet. And you have widened the crack in the wall with your escapades earlier, so
It's now Franco size.
It's now big enough for Franco to get through without getting stuck. But Franco, you know what? I'm going to be a little bit mean here. I'm going to ask for a sanity roll from you as you prepare to squeeze back through this narrow gap where you were almost, well, not almost, where you were trapped before. Yeah, you're going to lose 1 point of sanity here as you just kind of flinch back a little from the idea of having to go back through that experience again. But there is no other way out. Okay.
Could try again and, get him to come down again. It's fine. Let it go in.
So, back through the crack in the wall and back through this earthen tunnel, like beneath the walls of the graveyard, wriggling and crawling until you emerge from the earth in Highgate. Completely filthy, the three of you, like covered in grave dirt and mud. This hand just clawing up into the daylight. Actually, can you give me a group look roll here?
Who's got the lowest? That should be me with 46.
Yes, that will be Franco. I think.
Okay.
So as
Close.
which of you is at the front of this crawling escapade?
Franco as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I think would have been Franco, then Morgan behind him to make sure if he gets stuck, there's someone strong enough to shove him out.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Franco, as your hand reaches up and you reach up into daylight, you hear an ear-splitting scream. And as you stick your head out into the daylight, you see the disappearing figure of a woman running away across the graveyard. There's a bunch of flowers has just been dropped on the ground, and she has just shrieked and has fled off across the graveyard.
I'm gonna pull myself out. I'm like, I don't think we have a lot of time. We need to get going.
Actually, seeing where we are, is Arabella Gray's grave nearby? Because we,
Yeah,
would-
it's in this patch where all the tunnels
Yeah.
were. Yeah.
the flowers she dropped, I'll put on that grave.
That's the only grave that's not used, right?
It's the only one not disturbed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, how would she disturb her own grave, right?
I do have another question. Some cemeteries have a water source for people to get water for flowers. I'm not sure if they had them in Victorian times. I know most recent cemeteries do have something along those lines.
I don't think they would have
remember
been
seeing
plumbed
anything.
in yet. I think this is a little early for that, but
Fair enough. It's
Yeah.
okay.
I'll have to go for a recce to Highgate at some point to find out more.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on the pictures I've seen of it, there isn't anything like that. Should we get going?
Yeah, we should get going.
All right, so you're heading
Ideally
back.
in a coach.
I'll try to wipe as much whatever crap off me as I can with probably my jacket, which is probably as bad to be fair, but I'm just gonna
Yeah, it's not.
just moving dirt around basically.
Yeah, it's not working really, and you cut a particularly disreputable group as you head out of the graveyard. I'm presuming you took a carriage here, or
We would have, but I'm not sure whether we would have told them to stay.
no, possibly not. So yes, you find yourself covered in mud at the gates of the cemetery.
I've got a feeling we won't be able to get in a carriage like this.
Oh, I mean, I can show you the way that I walked last time. It's not that difficult, it's just long. And people will look at us oddly, the state we are in.
The state we're in, they probably won't recognise her once we have a wash.
Yeah, where are you going to get a wash?
Once we get into, well, we could either head to. I'm just thinking how James is going to react to this. We're going to have to head back there.
Yeah, I mean...
But at least to get a wash, I can always go back to mine afterwards to pick up a set of clothes.
Yeah, but that's 2 hours of walk through the city in this state. Not that I mind, but
it is London in.
Yeah, people
There's
do walk
stranger
around like
sights.
this.
oh well, we're not in like the East End, right? We're like.
You're gonna get
I
some
mean-
odd looks when you get back to Mayfair, essentially, right?
Beggars get everywhere.
Yes.
I really don't want to treat like one of them again, but yeah, let's go.
All right, so you start this long trudge back.
Unless someone in a carriage offers us a lift.
No one's. If you saw three incredibly muddy people walking along, no. You see a couple of carriages probably actually speed up a little bit to get as they go past you, as you make your way back towards Grosvenor Square and the Esoteric Society, or sort of the home of the Esoteric Society, because both Maddie and Lady Irene are away at the moment, and you have essentially been given the run of the place, it seems. No one seems to... You've not really been told what the limits of what James will do to help you is, but he seems to be fairly accommodating so far.
I think he's seen some strange things.
Yeah. But, as you arrive back, James... Yeah, were you going to say something?
I was just going to ask something about, was it Willoughby, the manservant we saw just before?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have Egyptian features, does he? Or slightly Egyptian?
No, not from what you saw.
That's okay. I was just wondering with that weird cult stuff to do the Black Pharaoh that I'd read.
Mm.
It would have
So-
been a strange coincidence if he was.
As we're walking, right? That's probably the best time to talk reasonably when you're not easily listened
And everyone's
upon.
ignoring us.
Everyone's ignoring us. Okay, exactly. I'd be saying, so she's dead, but the girl was now fighting with her manservant, and the manservant has like these gashes as if he was attacked by the monster. But we know the monster's dead, so...
Well, from what Dr. Peterson was saying, and what I could tell from looking at the body, it looked like the bones had warped as if they transformed that way.
Mhm.
I'm just wondering if there's some sort of curse on the family to do with female members of the family, and what was that creature was being kept there, and I'm just wondering whether it's someone like Lucinda's mother or a older female relative, and when we've killed it, whatever
She became
curse,
it.
the curse has transferred over, which is why they were keeping it imprisoned there to avoid her being caught by the same effects. But now instead the curse has rolled onto her and she started transforming. But the other strange thing is we know that Dr. Nathan Lake seems to be working with Charles Bellfont to do with weird Cult of Dagon stuff, and for some reason they said the Vanes were key. I don't know a great deal about these cults, but I'm just wondering if the Black Pharaoh cult and the Cult of Dagon are in opposition to one another. And that's why it was important. But we have another option as to chase up Arabella Vane. Her grave was not disturbed. So I feel I've got to chat to Earl Archie Grey. But I think we need to bring that young lady back if possible. But if she's transformed, we can't really do a great deal with it.
Maybe, let's just say for a moment that Miss Vane might be Arabella Vane might be the one that we killed. I mean, they're all related, aren't they?
I believe she was Lucinda's aunt.
Yeah. Which is close enough, I'd say. I'm not gonna expect her in that state to get a kid.
Well, Arabella Vane had been ill for quite some time.
Ill or confined in that cage down there?
She'd been ill, then died, but as you say, it could potentially have been her, but I do want to discuss things with Earl Grey to find out. Well, to see if we can get some answers off him. To be fair,
Doctor,
yes.
Do you know the father of Lucinda Vane?
I've not met him. He tends to keep within the property himself. He doesn't tend to visit. He doesn't tend to do social functions. I know of him, but not that well.
So it will not be possible for you to place a visit to Dr. Lake, saying that you are coming from his father, her father, sorry.
Dr. Lake doesn't have to know the truth. We can tell him that the Vane family have decided to sign her over to my care. But we have the option of actually, once we get cleaned up, whether we want to approach Mr. Vane himself and actually see if we can get some answers off him about what's going on. But I'd feel more comfortable going to Archie because I actually do know him. And he might have some answers, and we could go from there to visit the estate, but I think we need to stop whatever Dr. Lake is up to. But if she's transforming into a monster, what are our options?
If we could find out what kind of curse that is, maybe there's a way to break it. I mean, she was a nice lady.
Yeah.
as far as we got to meet her. And maybe we can help and just have that no longer be an issue.
That is something I want to look into. And there's the coincidence around the necklace, the silver necklace from Egypt, from Nitocris, Queen Nitocris, I think, because apparently in her time these creatures were about. So I'm hoping either this necklace thing. I just find it a bit coincidence that the necklace has turned up and all this stuff is happening. So it's whether the necklace has triggered it all, so we could do tracking that down, or the necklace somehow protects against it. If it protects against it, whether Lucinda wearing it would stop her from transforming. But we need some answers, and we haven't got enough information yet before we take on what's happening with her. So what do you think? I do agree we should save her if we can and break this curse.
I mean, if we don't, and she at some point somebody will kill it as her as a monster, and once she dies, one of her nephews or will be the next victim.
I think it might pass through female. It may be a coincidence that the creature we killed was female, but it could just pass through female members of their family.
Yeah, then it would be niece. I was missing the word.
Oh.
that's just days like that.
Yes.
Do you think Dr. Lake knows about it and he's using her?
I don't think he knows about it.
I mean, he'll probably know at the latest tomorrow.
Actually, that's a very good point. If she transforms there, I suspect Charles Bellfont has an idea that there's stuff tied in with this cult. But I do find it a coincidence, this cult to do with fish people and the doctors, Dr. Lake. Well, that could be a complete coincidence.
I mean, that sounds almost like the creator had a pun.
Oh. Who knows?
Well,
But
I'm not really good with the occult side of things or the research side of things, so
we could
if
always
there's something
check.
that can help.
Yeah, we could check some books, see if we find out if those cults are. We won't spend too long looking, but we could probably find something in the London Esoteric Society about cults, more than likely, to see if those cults are in opposition to one another. But then again, are they likely to keep those books out in the open?
Yeah.
Never mind. We have options, but we need more information.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go and ask my brother to use his informations, his people. If there's knowledgeable people around that we did not have the connection with, that might be willing to help out or to,
Keeper, I've got a question. Lucinda Vane's mother, what do I know about her?
You know that she died of consumption probably about 10 years ago now.
Okay. I knew she wasn't around, but
Yeah.
my mind's thinking that she was the creature. But yeah, let's see what we can find out, get ourselves cleaned up, and see what we can find. Well, see what we do.
Okay, so you arrive back at Grosvenor Square, and as James opens the door to you, he just looks over the three of you.
Franco fell in a hole, and we fell in after him.
Come inside. The ladies are away. Molly,
That's good.
we're gonna need water for a bath.
Yep, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna stand in one place, not trying to move, because everything looks absurdly clean.
Yes. We'll get water heated as fast as we can. If you you see him looking around, sort of almost as like he's looking for somewhere to put you, then realizes he's not really got the authority to put you anywhere. Sirs, if you wouldn't mind,
Where to go?
perhaps confining yourselves to
Kitchen.
not the library.
The kitchen because of the floor.
Yeah, the kitchen. If you come, actually,
Sure.
no, the upstairs parlor. That one's the carpet in there is unsalvageable.
Oh, that sounds like there's a story behind that one.
It's a story for another day. These
Sure.
things happen.
Oh, yes, I know. Oh, yes, I know.
Yes, we've had our fair share of incidents in this house, but yes, there'll be hot water soon. I'm afraid I'm not sure we have much in the way of suitable clothing. I was told to help you in any way we could. There might be some old things from... I'm not sure if I'm... Miss Carter's away, and she's technically... She and Lady Irene technically own the place. Well, they do own... Not just technically, they do own the place.
Once I've cleaned up enough, I'll just make my way to my shop. I'm not too far away and get cleaned up and sort out clothing that way.
Yes, right away. Yes, sir.
I think this stuff I'm wearing now probably just needs to be burnt.
Well, I still get my good clothing.
You could probably
over here.
get the stains out of that within a bit of hard work. I think it'd come clean. It's a very terrible shame to burn such good
It is
good
true.
cloth. Yes, Mr. Bernice, you did leave some clothes here. Yes, I believe. Yes.
So I'm just gonna take my Sunday's clothing, basically, and go back home afterwards, and then bring the Sunday's clothing back with me, because this is not gonna be the last time that something weird happens, and we might need extra clothing there.
Yes. So yeah, cleaning and clothing and refreshments are offered as well. You're able to get yourselves into something more resembling respectable gentlemen rather than mud creatures. And what are your next moves? It's by now probably past lunchtime by the time you got back to the city and cleaned yourselves up a bit.
Okay. Next plan.
Do you have anything
gonna-
you wish to do that afternoon?
Yes, plenty, but do we have time?
I would. What's the hurry?
If this cult of Dagon are planning to do some sort of ritual, cults tend to do their stuff at night. So we'd have to... I feel we need to interrupt whatever he's trying to do. Either he will have taken her to his sanatorium, or another possible thing is the Bellfont estate, which I believe was by the river.
There might be. I mean, I know that sounds odd, but he might just genuinely be trying to help.
No. Too much of a coincidence.
I mean, if he knows stuff, right, and he's like a good person, he might just try to help with the best as he can.
You do remember the recording where he's trying to
I mean,
contact strange fish?
oh yeah, right. I remember. There was a faint possibility.
He was very bad at it, but he was trying.
True.
I suspect, considering her condition, you would have taken her to his sanatorium, which I think was by the coast.
Yeah. The sanatorium had quite steady walls, so I think that's
At least you can
probably
secure
where
her.
he's got the best chances of keeping her. And then we come in the buildings of flame, and we have to catch her, and that'd be horrifying. And I'm not gonna tell anything more about that. How about I'm gonna go and visit my brother, because I wanna have him look out through his, friends for other occult sources of knowledge. I'm not gonna tell him what exactly, but I'm gonna need, pretend it's for a story, as usual.
Well, there's no pretending. Technically, it may end up being one.
I mean, it was already one.
I'll probably just have a quick look in the library. I'll just look I don't think I'm going to find anything to do with both those cults out in the open, but I'll see if I can find anything that shows whether those two cults are in opposition in some fashion.
Okay, so Franco's going to visit his brother. Dr. Mortimer is scouring the libraries. Mr. McCrashley, what would you like to do with your afternoon?
A question. I think I'll go see the inspector.
Okay, go to see Inspector Barnes.
Because the ladies aren't there anymore, aren't there for the moment. So I think have a little feedback from inspector and give him feedback would be nice.
True, it'll be a good idea. Might be worth telling him that the tunnels have been checked and they can start sealing them up if they want. Unless we want to not tell them just yet in case we need that option.
We need an entrance to the estate. Yeah, I mean, if I'm not fucking it up again, we would be able to get in there.
Keeper, I'm only spending a short time looking in the library because I'm going to hope to chat to Earl Grey as well this afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, and then go over to see Cousin Archie, Earl Grey.
Yes, good old Archie. Completely honest and innocent Archie.
Well, in that case, we'll just cover your library stuff before we get on to everyone's little escapades out. So if you could give me a library use roll, though, please. As you're searching round through the Society's library. Really, what is most of this is still Sir John's collection. And searching through, there's not really anything in the way of a guide to cults, not sat on the shelves in this library. However, you do find some scribbled notes on the cult of Dagon. It appears to be the remnants of some sort of investigation someone was carrying out into the activities of the Bellfont family. It scribbles, there's notes about shipments, something about an obelisk, questions about a man called John Smith, who may or may not be a fish man. The handwriting's not one you're familiar with, but
could be at Shaw.
Yeah.
Shaw, more than likely, because I know there was a third lady who was working with them. So I can't remember. I was told she was an investigator.
I think it probably would have been mentioned at some point in the last few days.
I think James had mentioned it.
Yeah, Miss Shaw used to work with them. But yeah, there's seems to be some notes on the previous delvings into the Esoteric Society versus the Bellfont family shenanigans. From these notes, you learn essentially that there's clearly been a series of run-ins in the past between this cult of Dagon and the Esoteric Society, there is no mention of any corpse eaters or Egyptian cults in this. But, enough to know that the Bellfonts, you've already probably picked up that they were rivals, but sort of the extent of what went down in terms of people being drowned, long-held grudges.
That's true. And did Dr. Peterson have those papers sent for me to look at? Because I asked him to send them here.
Yes, they would also be Dr. Peterson's papers.
Because the strange things he's...
Yes. So some of his strange autopsy reports, the most notable of which probably being several cases of the on-land drownings with river water and brackish water in the lungs. A rather graphic account of him pulling a large eel out of the innards of a body found dead far from any water. And you'll note that amongst these reports of the strange on-land drownings, there is the autopsy of a Sir John Wallace, who was killed in such a way. But yeah, essentially, there's a lot about fish people and fish cults, and not really anything about deserts.
That's okay.
But as you're browsing through these papers, Franco, you head over to see your brother. Who, early afternoon. Where would your brother usually be at such a time like this? Where's this encounter taking place?
I mean, there's probably some seedy bar that he's sitting in.
Yeah. He's got a pint in hand or a cup of gin? What?
Depending on how much he's still got to do today, I'd say.
Let's stick to a pint for now. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
True. Hey.
Oh, Franco.
I'm just gonna go over I'm just nodding to him, go over to the bar, grab a pint myself, and then come over, take a seat. How you doing? Before I'm coming to why I'm here.
All right, business ups and downs as usual. I had to keep my head down a little bit the last few days. Actually, I'm not going to get into it. A bit of a run-in. Some copper thinks I'm up to no good. I mean, I just, it can't prove anything.
Take care. Don't, do something stupid.
Me? I never do anything stupid. You, on the other hand.
I mean, apropos stupid. So I need something from you. Namely, your set of friends. And yes.
What do you need to know? Who do I need to go beat someone up for you, brother?
No. It's fine. No, nothing that obvious. There's just been this incident on the Highgate Cemetery. Don't know whether you read the paper, but
yeah, I always read your paper.
I mean, the stuff that I've written is actually true. Just that it wasn't some cops, but me and a couple of people.
Wait, you did that?
Yeah, just for one moment, let's just accept that as stupid, right? And
yes.
there is we need to kind of find out what happened there, why it happened, and if that goes well, I might make big bank.
All right. Well, hey.
So
to cut me in on it, if.
Sure. If you need to grease some palms or something, I can get that from people for that. So that shouldn't be an issue.
Oh, you got contacts.
Yeah, I got contacts. At some point, had to happen, right? I don't know. So I'm just gonna give you a couple of keywords. like the cult of Dagon.
The cult of Dagon?
Yeah, something. I mean, just write it down. It's fine. And I need people that know about stuff like that.
Not dragon. This isn't someone
Yeah, exactly.
dragon.
It's not dragon.
Dagon.
Yeah.
Dragon.
Yeah, like dragon, but without the R.
Alright.
And I just need people that know about that stuff to meet up with them later, because I don't think that information's going to travel very well over people that don't know what they're talking about. The Cult of Dagon and Nito Chris, and I'm just gonna tell the like letter by letter, spell it out. And something about relating to curses and werewolves.
Werewolves?
Yep. It is odd, don't worry. Just do it.
Frankly,
there's
it's
money in
odd,
it.
and then it's asking me. I can't go and ask like my contacts.
Exactly.
Have you seen a werewolf?
No, I'm not saying you're supposed to ask for seeing a werewolf. You're supposed to ask for people that know stuff about stuff like that, that know about occult shit.
That's it. What do you know about werewolves?
I understand.
Can you not hear yourself? Do you not know what you sound like saying this?
I mean, last night was really fucked up, honestly. I'm trying to find people that do that esoteric stuff, and that aren't, the rich and wealthy where everybody's doing their own shit. I'm just trying to find people
like
that
table
know
rappers
stuff.
and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, everything that is not, where you're not immediately seeing that it's like bullshit, right? I mean, most of that is bullshit. That's kind of the problem. That's kind of why I'm here and not just looking around myself. Because you're like, you got a nose for stuff like that. I mean, not stuff like occult, but
If it was anybody else asking me to do this, I would tell them to sod off. But you're not actually insane, are you?
At least I don't think I am. We're still kind of normal talking, right? I mean, that I'm insane might be a fairly reasonable assessment.
Just asked me to look into people who know about werewolves and dragon cults.
Yeah, I did.
Well,
I mean, can't be more than I ain't got anything. Oh yeah, right. I'm gonna grab the piece of paper and just write Black Pharaoh on it. I mean, it's not gonna make anything better, but it's just keywords. If somebody reacts, the kind of type that definitely did do the thing that you didn't want him to do. If somebody reacts like that on one of these, I want to know.
All right, okay. But I'm not promising anything.
Yeah.
This is some weird shit.
Hey. It is. It definitely is.
I'll tell him it's for. I'll tell him it's.
I'm just you're just doing like a favor.
Yeah.
You're doing somebody a favor.
I might have to say it's a favor for a weird relative of mine, which is,
hey,
not
100%
entirely
sure.
untrue.
You didn't even lie on that one.
I'm an honest man through and through, you know me. Don't give me that look. Alright, well. Drink up. I will, you know where to find me. I will do some digging.
Thanks a lot. And yeah, if if some costs come up, just tell me. I can get those. I think. I'm reasonably certain that I can.
Alright. So, Alice...
And then I'm just gonna, socialize a little bit with him.
The conversation
to make sure that he's...
other matters.
Exactly, that I'm still like a normal person.
Yeah, how he's been doing
Yeah.
how you've been doing all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And
Steer clear of anything that could compromise the other, which leaves like a lot out. But
yeah, as that conversation is going on, Mr. McCrashley has gone to see Inspector Barnes of Scotland Yard, the a long-suffering detective who handles things that don't quite make sense. Good afternoon, Mr. McCrashley, wasn't it?
It is, yeah.
Come in, take a seat.
Cheers.
So, what can I help you with?
Just wanted to give you the heads up. One of my colleagues who is working with the London Esoteric Society fell into one of the holes in the graveyard. By felling, I mean he went digging a little further, and we found out we found out where the holes are getting to.
All right. Where do the holes go?
To the Vane residence.
Right, so are you telling me this because one of your people broke into the Vane residence?
No, we didn't break in. We just fell in a hole. And
I was rather expecting you asking me to get your friend out of jail again.
Oh, no, not this time. We were there with him, so I think we managed to not getting him in trouble this time.
Good, because I did warn him. There's only so many times I can pull something like that before questions will start to be asked that I don't want asked.
But so we didn't know where we were getting at. We just followed the road under the ground, and we arrived in the Vane residence. We got out when we managed to have this information, but I think it was an information you would have as well.
Yes, well, so the Vanes are involved.
I don't know if they are involved, but maybe there is something. Yeah, I don't know.
What I want to know is there a continuing danger to the public? Is the graveyard safe? Should we be closing it?
Yeah, no, the graveyard is safe now. For now, I will say. For now, I don't know how long, but for now it's safe. I think the graves can be.
Good, because I have some crazy report about dead people rising up out of graves from this morning.
That will be us.
Right, good. I was going to ask you to look into it. But
yeah, but there is nothing to look into it. That was just us getting out of the grave we fell into.
That's fine then. Just good to know. Right. So the graveyard is safe?
Yeah, you can fill the holes up again. I think it will be all right. We don't need to go to dig in further.
All right. Well.
But now I'm at it. Do you have something about Vanes? Any complaints? Any strange stories about this family?
As far as not off the top of my head. I did a little. No, I mean they're an upstanding society family. There's a connection. I think one of them married an earl at some point. So quite respectable people.
Yeah.
Archibald Grey, very good upstanding man, a friend of mine actually.
And are they? Do you know if they are in antiques or something like that, working about Egypt's history and so,
I don't
something
think
like
they
that.
work.
Hmm?
I don't think they work.
No, but they have mission. They have maybe some passions, you know.
As I don't really. I only know them through Archie. He married one of them, and she passed away, unfortunately. But you're perhaps confusing them with the Davenports. They're the ones that were in more into antiques.
Yeah, I'm working myself with
Archie, yeah. Yeah. Actually, yeah, that doctor. Possibly that's supposed to be the same Davenports. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Davenport is working with us, so
Small
I don't
world,
think.
really. Yeah.
But now that I'm just thinking about something because we were speaking about Vane. Dr. Lake, does that name ring a bell to you?
Dr. Lake.
Nathan Lake?
Not off the top of my head. Do we have any? It's medical doctor?
Sanatorium doctor.
Nathan Lake. Don't think it's familiar to me. Oh, no, wait, short guy, bit Weasley. Yes, Dr. Lake. Yes, I was, that's where we sent, what was his name? The unfortunate gentleman from that case you were helping us look into, the Bidwell case. That there was a poor unfortunate family that was there with the scene in the rail yard. I handed him over to Dr. Lake. Poor homeless man claiming to be Bidwell himself. Quite a matter of some confusion. But, yeah, and Lake was the doctor I handed him over to.
Oh, so you're saying that a homeless person who's claiming to be Bidwell has been handed over to Dr. Lake?
Yes.
All right, that's interesting.
Yes, he's apparently runs a very, very good facility down near Brighton. A respectable place, very clean, very orderly, very modern.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say Dr. Lake is clean himself, but I think I will dig a little further into that because before we go, yeah, I need some proof, but before we go further the line, but yeah.
Am I correct in thinking you are acting as part of the Esoteric Society now?
I'm helping them, yeah, because they are, with everything that's happened with the Bidwell case, where we helped as well. I was the one who helped you arrest the murderer of.
Yes, I remember.
So we all helping. I'm helping for the moment, and and I think I'm going to help a little further until they still need me. I don't know how much time it's going to do, but for the moment, yeah. You can still contact me to leave a message in my office if you still need me for anything else as well.
Well, I will do. Excellent. Well, thank you for dropping by. It's great to be updated. Thank you, sir.
And thank you for the information, and I wish you a good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And as you depart the inspector's office, we go now over to Mortimer, who has gone to see the oft-mentioned cousin Archie, otherwise known as Earl Archibald Grey. And would you be meeting at his house or a neutral location?
I suspect, as I haven't really had a chance to announce it.
Or his club?
To be fair, whichever he chose, I would have just phoned him to arrange an appointment because, well, nobility is probably not a good idea. I don't know where he'd be otherwise.
Yeah, I think he would have invited you to meet him at his club in central London. This nicely appointed gentleman's club with leather chairs, people sat around smoking, reading the paper, mostly in silence. It's quite a respectable club, especially at this time of the afternoon.
There's probably quiet rooms to talk discreetly.
Yes, of course. It's a little room off to one side where two gentlemen can discuss private business without disrupting the rest of the club. And Archibald is waiting for you there. He's flicking through the paper.
Afternoon, Cousin Archie. How are you?
Ah, Mortimer.
I'm sorry to bother you. It's been
No, it's not a
busy
bother.
time.
As I said, I didn't get a chance to talk to you properly at the party.
Yes, we had to rush off. I'd been roped into helping with a murder investigation. It was rather strange. You probably heard it, the John Bidwell.
Oh, the shipping. Well, no, shipping was that Bidwell? I think yeah, industrialist. Yes.
Yes, I think he had come back from Australia or something.
Yes, poor chap.
Yes,
Butler. The butler did it. That's what one. I remember that one. Yes.
Who would have
Yes.
thought?
Oh,
But, yes, we had to.
I gave my man a rise. Raise that week.
Good plan.
Yeah.
But yes, I was really wishing to apologise to you because when Arabella passed away, I wasn't able to make it to the funeral
I mean,
itself.
I can understand. These. Look, you.
I had not had the opportunity to apologise, and it's not something.
It's not something you need to apologise for.
It's not
I
something you
understand.
discuss.
No.
But, there was a few strange things that I've heard recently relating to Egypt.
Egypt.
My sister mentioned that about a necklace. I often
Yes. Go on.
well, there is something very strange going on with. I'd hate to. How could I put this? We were visiting Highgate Cemetery recently, and the cinder Vane
Little
Had-
Lucy. Yes.
had been more or less abducted by a Dr. Nathan Lake.
Abducted.
Pretty much. I don't believe her father was happy to let her go, but this doctor insisted on taking her.
I know Lake was the Vane family doctor.
He was, but he took her away.
They fired him.
I didn't know that.
No, Percy never gave me the details. That's Lucinda's father, but I think
Yes, well,
yes,
Weird.
they.
we had found some strange information about Dr. Nathan Lake, and we had unofficially found some information about him from some recordings he had made, where he had been discussing matters with a Charles Bellfont. It appears they were both involved with some sort of weird cult.
Bellfont's whose house blew up. Bellfont's.
I believe it's a Charles Bellfont is actually a patient in his sanatorium.
Right.
But there's recordings of them discussing some sort of cult. I think a cult of Dagon. And
How
there's
does
some-
this all connect with Egypt? What?
well,
Mm.
Are there unusual esoteric things that you are aware of within London?
Mortimer? I
There's
don't often
things-
give out advice to people. I'm going to give you some advice now, boy. I will handle whatever's going on with Dr. Lake and the Vanes. I would advise you to stop looking into whatever you're looking into. Some things are best left buried. Don't go digging. Alright, Mortimer, I know you're curious boy, man now, but sorry, it's still in my mind. You're
Yes, it's
knee-high,
it's
you and
okay.
Catherine both, but I think this is something you'd rather stay out of. Alright?
Oh, it most
Let's
certainly is
pretend we
something I
never
want
had
to
this
stay out of.
conversation. And you can forget
Yes,
all about this matter.
my companions and I had been asked to investigate the matter in Highgate regards this panther or something that the police had killed, or some large badger that had been in the cemetery. It's confusing. Every single police officer we spoke with, one was convinced it was a badger, one was convinced
Mortimer,
it was a panther,
look,
and
I am being serious. Stay out of this. And if you value... If these companions and associates of yours are friends, I would advise you advise them to stay out of it as well. This is not something you want to get yourself involved in. That's all I'm prepared to say on the matter.
thank you for the advice.
Please.
I think it's the first time I've been to this club.
Well, yes, it's...
Certainly a nice
My regular.
establishment.
Yes, they have a very good port, and they have a wonderful wine cellar, and very pleasant staff.
Well, thank you for your time. I don't want to bother you that much, but well, I feel much better for having spoken with you, and I will take your advice on this.
Yes, and I will go see Percy and get this matter resolved. Percy Vane, that is.
Oh,
Sorry.
It's I've always known him as Mr. Vane.
Yes. Well, he was, though sadly briefly, my brother-in-law for a time, so I got onto first name terms.
I do have a thought. If this Dr. Lake has been difficult about releasing Lucy, you could always, if you could convince Percy to basically put in a claim saying that she has been passed to my care. It doesn't have to have actually been passed to my care, but
Well, it's a very kind offer. I will. It's always
gives,
good. It's
gives a
always
bit of
used to having
leeway.
a doctor in the family, after all. So
It'll give some sort of reason, some sort of leeway should anyone be difficult about it, to at least get her home.
yes, thank you. That's a very kind offer. Now, I must be going. It appears I have matters to attend to. If you wish to stay, everything is on me.
Oh, it's okay. I've got a bookshop to run.
Yes, I forget. I always forget you're in trade sometimes. You know.
Yes, it keeps me busy and out of trouble, usually.
Yes,
So, thank you for your time.
indeed.
And I shall start to make my exit.
Okay. Yes. So, by this point, you've all sort of finished up your meetings. Do any of you have any other matters you want to attend to or places you want to go before you reconvene?
Is the museum still open?
Yes, the museum is still open. You've probably got a couple of hours before closing time.
I'm not sure which would be the best option, whether to go to... Oh, actually, the library won't have anything. Because I've already looked there. I'm thinking of just going to the museum to see if I can find anything regards Egypt and that Queen Nitocris, and perhaps legends or stories about her necklace.
Okay, so you take a. Are you just sticking to the public areas of the museum, or are you going to see a contact there? Or
I'll actually speak to a contact of mine. I believe I have a contact there called James. Strangely enough, James is a popular name.
hey, look, there's only so many names in the world. I've had to resist calling every third character John because although probably historically accurate, it also highly confusing.
It's okay, I've got all the names written down here. James Denton.
Okay.
It's my contact at the museum who I used to sell artifacts from the East to and other places.
Perfectly legitimate business transactions.
Completely. All the paperwork looked... It was valid.
Yeah, so you pay a visit to James, and so you're just after information on...
Pretty much Nitocris and anything linked to her and her necklace, any myths or stories.
Nitocris. Someone's pulling your leg, Mortimer. She's. I'm fairly certain she's not real. She's a myth, you see. There's a lot for all the real historical pharaohs we've got. There's also the ones that are clear fabrications. Nitocris is one of those. She's a fable, a story. An Egyptian queen who made some sort of deal with, like, some dark, terrible desert god. It's myth. It's not history.
Something strange, something to do like the Black Pharaoh, those sort of myths.
Yeah, it's all tied in Neferkar, all that. It's none of it's real, none of it's true. Like there's, it's yeah, myth and superstition.
Do you mind if I have a look at any information to do with that? Just the myths. I
said it's not really. It's not really anything in the historical record. It's
not historical. It's myth.
It's not historical. It's myth. There's nothing really solid to go on. But yeah, I've got a book somewhere. It's not. Hang on. More of a pamphlet, really. It's The Lost Pharaohs of Egypt. Utter nonsense. I don't think I've ever read anything quite so daft. But
so this is just a load of myths.
Oh yes, this is some chap called what's his name? Yeah, it's a historian fellow called Cresswell wrote it, supposedly detailing a bunch of pharaohs that have been dropped from the historical record. But
some reason that name's familiar, Cresswell.
It's mostly utter balderdash, really, but it's a laugh at times if you want to read about,
I'll certainly have
nonsense. A look. Yeah.
And I shall have a look and see.
All right. Well, I'll get back to you after the break on the contents of this pamphlet. Because unless anyone else has anything they want to do before the society reconvenes, I think this might be as good a time as any to take a quick 10-minute break. How does that sound? All right. We will see you in 10 minutes. And we are back. So, after your visits to museums, libraries, contacts, and family friends, you reconvene in the evening presumably at our regular haunt. Unless anyone has any objection to that. Reconvene in the library of the society. Mortimer with this badly printed pamphlet in hand.
So, does anybody get anything?
Not a great deal. Well, I visited the museum. I found this pamphlet about this lost pharaoh. She's basically a myth, not meant to exist, but a lot of things are myths and shouldn't exist. But unfortunately, we've seen. Yes, and there's some matter of this Black Pharaoh. I was looking into the necklace to see where it may have ended up. I'd heard it had been on the black market as such in London, but I had an idea who it may have gone to. But whilst pursuing said contacts, I was told to stay out of it, not to look into it, to drop it, and I was put under the impression that the person I was talking to may have been a member of the Black Pharaoh cult. They didn't say anything like that, but they were not happy I was talking to them about this and wanted me to drop it completely. I was hoping to see if I could turn the two cults against each other. So I may have dropped in information saying that Dr. Nathan Lake and Charles Bellfont have been starting up the cult of Dagon, and they've abducted Lucinda Vane. So this person I spoke with said they're going to handle it. I don't know what that means, but that's as much information as I've managed to get, other than bits and pieces about the cult of Dagon. I'd hoped there'd be some sort of connection with the Black Pharaoh cult, perhaps in opposition, but I couldn't find anything about that. Black Pharaoh as it is, it's purely, well, Egypt, the Nile, and the Dagon seems to be more, well, the sea, as far as I can tell, and the coastlines. That's as much as I can find, really. Perhaps Mediterranean. But...
Well, this person that is probably into some of that stuff. Could I go and take a look at their estate, maybe?
This person has a lot of estates.
I mean, he's only going to ever be in one of them. That makes it easier.
I'm not sure. I haven't decided what I'm going to do about this yet. But that is certainly an option.
I mean, he's definitely involved somehow. Because he wouldn't have said stop the investigation otherwise.
He didn't seem to believe much when I was telling him about the badger or the panther as well. He got more insistent that I stopped looking into this when I'd mentioned I'd been asked to help look into this wild animal that had been in Highgate that the police had killed, and he was more adamant I should drop this now, sort of thing.
I mean, he was right. It was fucking dangerous.
I'm not sure what our options are.
I can maybe contact one of my... I don't know if I still have contacts, but I can contact my old military division to see if they have something on this. But yeah, go on. Well,
I just remembered something which was a bit strange. The Bellfonts had an obelisk.
oh, obelisk, Egypt. True.
If I don't know whether it'd be worth checking the Bellfont estate to see whether that's where Dr. Lake has taken her.
Has there anything happened to the estate after it burnt down? Has it been rebuilt, or is it just like a ruin now and they just left it? Or
I think it's probably a ruin, but I find it a bit strange because that obelisk would be rather valuable. Admit it's not something someone could just steal.
And it's not something you can pawn off easily either.
If I remember, their estate was by the river, so should someone have a decent enough boat, equipment, they could transport it by river somewhere else. But then again, there's probably nothing strange about this obelisk. But before we check with Dr. Lake, it might be worth checking the estate, seeing it's much closer.
Yeah, if you want to take a ride out up to Richmond, where the Bellfont estate is, you can do so. Would you like to do that this evening? Or is that a task for the next day?
I don't know, what does everyone think? Should we check this estate before heading to the sanatorium? See what I mean?
I think checking the estate is probably quickly done.
Because
and
if
then
there's
we can
nothing strange, we can just go.
Exactly. That sounds like a good plan.
The other way round would be too difficult.
Okay, so you're going there this evening, or shall we or would you like to do it the next morning?
I've got a feeling this evening's probably...
Wait. The only thing is that that's
like...
only giving time, right?
I don't like the idea of it, but the sooner we get this done...
Yeah, the better.
Okay. So as the sun sets over the city, you head out west, out past the boundaries of London at the time, into what is mostly countryside and scattered villages along the banks of the Thames, with a large number of big, stately homes and houses out here. And you head round till you arrive at what was once the Bellfont estate. You can still see the big grand gateway with these, I think it had two like fish-like figures on either side of the gate, if I remember rightly. The gate's closed, but someone has like looped a chain around it to keep it closed, and you can see sort of dimly in the lights. There's not much moonlight still because it's still not much of a moon, but you can make out it looks quite overgrown, and there looks to be this ruined outline of a house against the sky. You can just make out against the dark starry sky this slightly darker shape of this burnt out husk of a house. And it all from this direction seems quiet and still, but it looks that the lawns and the estate probably would reach right down to the river.
How long is that? How long was that? How long ago was that it's burnt down?
5 years ago.
Oh, how have they not yet torn that thing down? Wow. Okay.
Possibly because the person who it belongs to is currently in Elbrook Asylum.
Sure. Still a risk for everybody that's around, right?
Is the gate locked, or is it just...
It's been chained too, yes. Chained shut. Stop intruders.
Does it look as if it's been... Does it look as if it's old, the lock or the chain, or...
It's rusted a bit. It's been there out in weather for years.
But there doesn't seem to be any other way in to this estate other than...
Probably a way in down by the river, or climbing over the wall, or there might be a side gate.
Yeah, well, let's check for a side gate. Those are probably the weaker locks. Though I'd look at the chain link. Does that lock look like a difficult one?
Probably not. No, not a difficult looking one.
No, I'm just gonna take a quick look around and just try it. I mean, can't go
I'll
more
keep
than.
lookout.
Oh yeah, well it's open. Don't bother.
Yeah. You've got your skills back. Either this was a very easy lock, or you just got the knack back.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was stuck underground for like what feels like forever. I was just maybe not in my right mind down there.
And covered in mud and everything else.
Yeah. It was not comfortable down there.
So,
Let's go in.
should we? Yes, let's have a look.
Okay.
Right, I'm curious to see if this obelisk is still here.
So you head down the drive into the Bellfont estate towards this ruined husk of a house. You can see some side buildings and stables that also look to have been burnt down as you head in.
That's quite an extensive fire.
Yeah, it looks like this was a large fire that ripped through this place. I mean, the news said it was a gas explosion. Quite a horrible disaster that killed,
Dangers of modern technology.
Yeah. Several servants and 4 members of the family died in this.
And let's just go around the premises first, and take a look around if there's anything.
There's
And
not
then-
any evidence of anyone having been here.
True. Maybe there's still like the cellars standing.
Yeah, give me a spot hidden as you head sort of skirting around the house. You can see that the rose garden has sort of overgrown, grown wild. The grass on the lawn heading down to the river is grown long. Definitely there's been animals through here, sort of rummaging around and things. But as you're heading around towards the back of the house, Franco, you see muddy footprints on what was like the terrace at the back of the house.
So not like shoe prints, but actual like footprints.
Well, as you sort of on this terrace at the back of the house, you can as you lean close, you can see these look to be like smudged, bare, muddy footprints on the ground.
Okay. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna show it to the others. Look, there's footprints, and I'm then try to find A, where they came from, and B, where they lead into.
Is there anything unusual about these footprints? I'm thinking of fish-like. Not that fish have feet.
You know what? Give me
Medicine?
medicine, natural world.
I'd just go with medicine. I'd be able to tell if they're not people's feet, basically. I wouldn't be able to tell whether they're fish.
Fish feet.
I mean, fish notoriously do not have feet, so.
I mean, it might be like those.
You give me medicine. That's good. The dimensions of these, they look a little. There's something off about the shape and dimension of these. They look a little too long, in a way, a little too wide at the one end and narrower at the other. And the way the weight has been placed, there's something off about these prints. But
not like as if they're webbed or
a little bit webbed, maybe. It's hard to tell because it's just a print of mud. It's not a hugely clear print, but it does look like a wider toe spread and perhaps a little. Perhaps they're webbed.
I'll point this out to the other two. These feet look a bit off.
Do they?
They don't look like, well, our feet. Like, look how wide it is at the front and how narrow it is at the back.
I'll just put my foot next to it, and I'm like
completely
comparing.
different shape to our feet.
Okay.
There has been discussions of fish people. I don't know if
Morgan, do you have your gun? We might need it. I mean, I'm gonna definitely look where this leads and where it came from.
I've got 2 pistols with me on the off chance.
Good.
Today I took my rifle with me.
Okay, so let's check where these lead, and I'm gonna try to follow some tracks.
It's not really like a track. It's more like there's just something has been walking around here. But you can make a track roll if you would like. If you want to try and pick up some sort of trail of where they might have come from.
Oh, I actually can do that better than standard. It's incredible. But I'm not good enough to track muddy feet.
No, it looks like they possibly came up from the lawn, but
Yeah, that's just a ginormous mess. Okay.
it's just this mess of long grass that stretches all the way down to like the
I was
boathouse and the
surprisingly
Thames.
close.
I mean, if you have 7 points, you might.
Actually, why not? I'll put 7 points of luck into that.
All right. So the other 2 of you poking around, Mortimer, it's not so much the trail, but you can see. You know how when you've got a patch of grass or a lawn and there's almost a regular footpath that's been walked where the grass has been a bit trampled down and has grown up since then? It looks like there has been someone walking through the grass on the lawn, down from the house, leading directly down towards the water, sloping down this lawn towards the river.
Like back and forth, so it's just worn a path in
Yeah.
the grass. I'll point this out to Morgan and Franco.
Sort of leads down to the lawns and then sort of veers slightly to the right, towards this clump and cluster and thicket of trees down by the river.
Okay.
This is strange.
Well, it came out of the river or it went into the
It
river?
looks like it's back and forth a few times across this area.
Okay. So let's say for a moment that's a fish person. And there's fish person important called stuff in that building lift. The fish person goes and evacuates everything that's important. It goes multiple times back and forth. We can still, check for like the cellar and stuff. Maybe there's some important stuff that they might have missed that they might have not deemed important enough because there's backups. Who knows? There might be stuff that they can't just take that gives us information.
We could do, but I would have thought after 5 years they would have taken anything important.
Mm-hmm.
Luck roll?
As you're having this conversation, you hear rustling further down, sort of off in the rose garden. There's something moving out there. It's not being particularly stealthy.
I'm gonna go in stealth.
You're gonna try and hide somewhere?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and hide and sneak.
Like you're trying to creep up to it in the rose garden, or are you trying to?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to creep up to whatever made the sound right there.
Okay, give me a stealth roll, please. You're gonna try and sneak up to where this thing is in the dark.
Oh, I'm so glad that I increased that skill level.
Okay, so you see I sort of inch down and slip off into the dark. What are Morgan and Mortimer doing as Franco sneaks off? You just waiting there on the terrace?
Well, this is where we get the carriage out.
The carriage?
Yeah, we'll take the carriage back now. It's fine.
You're just leaving.
Yeah.
I assume that's a
Christmas.
joke, but just to
Oh,
clarify, are you
Yeah,
staying on the terrace?
Is there anywhere? How far away is this rustling from?
So the rustling is coming from sort of over in the rose garden. You're up on the terrace.
Well, I don't plan to sneak up on it, but I plan to take cover to hide somewhere.
You could try and hide back sort of in the burnt ruin of the house if you want to hide.
I want to be close enough to help Franco should things go very wrong for him.
So that would be moving towards it into the rose garden, essentially.
But trying to keep my distance from Franco as well, so if I'm spotted, well, I say if say when I'm spotted because I cannot stealth.
Okay. So if you're trying to be stealthy, give me a stealth roll.
Well, I will. Who knows?
And as we work out how this is playing out, Morgan, are you staying on the terrace or are you trying to follow them into the rose garden?
I'm following them.
Are you trying to be stealthy or are you just walking?
I'm just walking.
Okay.
I'm still hurt, so
I tried to be stealthy, but it's probably just as if I'm walking.
So what happens is, Frankie, as you slip sort of down, crouching through the bushes, you're getting closer, you can see there's definitely some hunched over form in the bushes. You can't quite see it in the lack of light in this rose garden. Then you hear the crash in the bushes behind you as Morgan and Mortimer enter the rose garden, and this thing sort of leaps up from its hiding place and dashes off down the lawn. But as it does so, you get, in the dim moonlight, a glimpse of this creature. Could you give me a sanity roll, please, as you see...
It is with me today.
Yeah. You see what is clearly this strange, twisted, fish-like form. But to be honest, at this point, you came here and have been discussing the possibility of fish people for the last 10 minutes. So it's perhaps less of a surprise when... Yes, there appears to be some sort of fish person hiding in these bushes. As it sort of leaps up from the bushes and dashes off down the lawn towards the river. Mortimer and Morgan, I'm going to ask the sanity rolls on the both of you two as you see this thing sort of erupt from the bushes ahead of you and goes scampering and scuttling its way down the lawns. Morgan, could you roll me 1d6, please, as this uncannily moving thing scuttles and scampers its way down the lawn. It's just something off-puttingly unnatural about its movement. This sort of stretched out two long limbs, this tail coiling behind it. It's sort of fish meets...
6.
Ooh, 6 out of 6. Okay. Does that bring you down below your daily limit? So you started the day on 40, right?
Yeah, indeed.
So your daily limit would be 32. So you're good for that. Could you give me an intelligence roll to see if you grasp the full implication of what you've seen here as you lose 6 points of sanity?
Success.
Takes you down to 36 sanity now. And you realise exactly what this is. You can't sort of pretend you're not seeing this. This is yet another horror in this world. You thought maybe that creature in the graveyard was enough, but this is another. There's more of them. There's more of these things. And the full horror of this sinks into you. And would you like to just roll me a 1d10, please, as you enter a bout of madness?
1d10. 4.
This is a trap, clearly. They lured you out here. This is perhaps Mortimer, Frank? I mean, Mortimer, he's very suspicious. Him with all his books and nosing around in libraries. And, I mean, you know he's hiding something. You know that he and his sister are involved in something. There's something he's not been telling you. He's hiding it from you. And now he's brought you out here, what, to try and sacrifice you to some kind of fish god? This is clearly some kind of trap. And all these, this paranoia just filling your mind, the suspicion, this deep mistrust. They're out to get you. Do with that what you will. As the creature scampers off into the bushes and you hear a splash down from the river.
Well, that's something.
something. I'm sure you knew that creature was coming.
Well, we saw the path. It looks like perhaps it's left something in the house, and if it hasn't emptied it by now.
I mean, it ran the moment it heard you two. So it doesn't seem dangerous, right? I mean, if it was the other creature, it would have just attacked us. This one ran, so it's probably, you know.
Did he run or did he get help from others?
I mean, if it gets help from others, we have to run. But but even then, that means that one of them is not dangerous to us because it ran away.
Perhaps to get more.
Maybe to get more, maybe to just hide.
Well, it's good it ran, but we weren't going to catch out once it hit the water. Should we either check the house quickly before it returns? But I'd really want to see if that obelisk is still by the river.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know if it's by the river, but whether it's in the grounds.
I'm gonna go through the building, and you go check the obelisk. That way we get more ground in time.
Sounds a plan.
Morgan, you just take care of the two of us. Just watch out that, you know.
Yeah, I'll watch the two of us. Don't worry. Don't worry about that. I'll watch you really closely.
As he's pointing the rifle at us. I wouldn't know where this obelisk would be. It could be anywhere in these grounds, isn't it?
It was described as being by the river.
Oh. And I'm assuming obelisks are quite tall, so I'll start looking around for something like that.
Okay, so you're going to look for the obelisk, and Franco, did you say you were...
I was checking the house for the cellar, for things that still stand.
Okay, and Morgan, are you staying up by the house or following Mortimer down to the obelisk?
You know what? I will follow the one I'm suspecting more, so I will go down to the obelisk.
Okay, so as you split apart, Franco's snooping around this burnt-out ruin. Franco, I'd like a look roll from you and a spot hidden. And Mortimer, I'd like a spot hidden from you, please. As you...
There it is.
Yeah. So as you make your way down the lawn, this overgrown lawn, you can see in this thicket at the end of this garden, this tall stone column rising up. Don't see any other signs of movement or anything else in the darkness. You can very clearly see this stone obelisk right down by the river. In fact, it's close enough that you suspect that at high tide the river water might lap up the obelisk itself. This is tidal still at this point, the river.
Yeah, I was more concerned they'd somehow made off with this obelisk at some point on a ship or boat.
Very clearly here. You can see it's got carvings on it. It's hard to see in the dim light, but it looks like some twining figures and fish-like forms on it, but you can't really see.
As far as I know, obelisks come from Egypt. That's the limit of my knowledge. If only we had an Egyptology expert.
I know. If only your Egyptologist wasn't on holiday at the moment.
I know. Or I read more books. But,
yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm this was here, so I'll start making my way back to the house to see Franco and maybe help with the house.
As you turn back towards the house, you hear a crash sound as Franco, as you start to snoop around this burnt-out ruin, the ground, the burnt and rotten remains of the floor on which you're standing just collapse beneath your feet into the cellar below.
Well, I found the way down.
As you give me a dex roll here, I'm going to see how good we are on just how bad this is. If you
face first. Yep.
As you crash down into the cellar, that will be 5 points of damage as you,
Major wound.
as in major wound, as you crash down and you feel as a broken piece of burnt old timber just skewers into your side, like scraping it like flesh and blood. And I need a con roll from you here to maintain consciousness. You're still
Somehow.
conscious. You're bleeding. You've fallen into a cellar, but you're conscious.
Fuck. I'm probably not gonna scream because it's like the moment, the shock of falling and being like stabbed by a broken piece of wood. I'm probably gonna instantly pull out, which is probably stupid because I'm starting to bleed. And noticing that I start to bleed, put the hands on top of it, turn around, look around and try to find a way up, but that's probably not easy. And then I'm starting to yell for help.
So yeah,
What are you seeing down there?
it's dark.
Okay.
It's dark. You can't really see anything much. Mortimer and Morgan, you can hear sounds of someone calling for help from the ruins.
I'll run over them. There's, we know Franco's probably fallen again. He does that. I mean, there's the hole, there's the wall. Yeah, he falls. So
you can see this hole leading down into the cellar below.
Yeah,
you can hear this voice coming up from the darkness.
Does there seem to be any way to safely get down there from here?
There's no way to safely get down.
You could get me like a lantern, that would help.
I would have liked to have thought we would have brought a lantern with us.
I assume you've got a lantern at this point, that you didn't decide to go and explore a ruin in the dark without a light.
Who would have the lantern, or would we have had one each?
Yeah, Franco's lantern is smashed as he fell down this hole.
We probably haven't got any rope or anything like that.
We weren't actually thinking that we were gonna climb at anything.
Very true.
I'm gonna can you give me light? Maybe there's still stairs around or something.
I'll try to lower the lantern down the hole. I'll sort of lie on my belly on the...
Can you give me a look roll, please?
How's that?
I'm gonna look at there's probably light coming down from the top, right?
Yeah, you can lower it down as you hold the lantern down.
I'm looking down.
The bit you're on is stable enough that you don't also end up down a hole.
Right.
Yeah, with the light now, you can see this cellar. There's quite a lot of standing water down here. Sort of rotten stuff, burnt stuff that's fallen down from upstairs. But you can see what looks to be a staircase that would have led up to like an entrance that's now sort of partially blocked with like bits of timber. Probably could be cleared away. But yeah, mostly it looks like stuff's just collapsed down here.
Does it look as if I could lower myself down there?
Yeah.
Carefully, without...
Yeah, you could do.
Okay, I'll try to lower myself down there because Franco's bleeding out.
I'm gonna
ask for some kind of roll here. My option would be to suggest climb, but if you want to make
climb or dex or
climb, I think climb.
Oh, I'm dreadful with that. I can't climb.
You kind of teeter on the edge, realizing that this is risky. This is dangerous. You can push on with this and risk falling down this hole, or you can back off.
Stay up there. Give me lights. Just hold the. I'm gonna
lowered it down to Franco to try and get him to have it.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna grab the lantern and I'm bleeding. Fuck it, fine. I'll go look around the room, try to see if there's anything important, and then start clearing the way up the stairs. And
it looks like it was probably blocked from the other side, but it's like someone would have to. Someone upstairs could clear it.
exactly. I knock on where it comes out so that they can clear up the upside.
When I was looking down, I would have seen the steps, I think,
Yeah.
anyway, so I'll have an idea which
Yeah.
direction.
You know what? Whilst you're down there, give me a spot hidden, Franco, as you're limping around in this dark. Well, no, you got the light now.
That's a hard one.
Okay. So as he's searching around, what are the two of you upstairs doing?
I'm making my way to the steps as carefully as I possibly can.
Okay. And Morgan?
I'll follow.
Okay, so as you're making your way to the steps, you can see it looks like a few sort of timbers and bits of burnt upstairs and bits of rubble has fallen onto where this entrance would be, but it shouldn't take too much effort to clear them away. It's not a major impediment from this side. Meanwhile, down below, Franco, undaunted by the fact that he's, been stabbed in the side and is trapped in a waterlogged cellar, continues hunting around in the dark. And you find something. Sort of lying on its side in the water. It's to be a small figurine carved of this black stone, and you sort of shine the lantern light on it. The light sort of, it almost seems to glisten with this oily sheen, this dark stone, and it looks to be this hunched, crouched figure perched on a throne. Almost humanoid looking at the start, but the face, this twisted mass of tendrils and almost tentacles, maybe? This crouched figure, there is something deeply unsettling about it as you look at this. And I do need to ask a personality roll from you. There's something off about it, but you're able to put it from the pain is it's enough to blot out any other concerns with this unnatural, unsettling figurine. Well, if you hold it in your hand, you hear it sort of sounds like the sound of waves just washing back and forth. You just sort of echo around this cellar, even though the sea is many miles away.
Well, I know that there's seashells that you can do that with, so I'm assuming that this is completely fine and normal. And I'm gonna put that in a pocket. It's fine. And I'll still try to find a way up, get the stuff out of the way, try to shove from below. Risk that something more collapses, maybe. Who knows?
So you're trying to do it from below as they're doing it from above.
Yeah, I want to get out of there. I'm not doing fine.
It takes some time, but you are able to clear this. I'm going to ask for another con roll, actually, from Franco, because you're still bleeding here, and starting to feel.
No, I think it's fine.
A bit woozy, but
yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it like that.
You're gonna accept that failure?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So as you're just beginning to move the timbers away, you hear this kind of almost thud of a body hitting the ground on the other side as Franco, the blood loss, the exertion finally gets to you, and you kind of topple over.
At least it sounds like you landed on the stairway, not in the water.
Yeah, you landed on the stairway. But yes, Franco, you are now unconscious.
Have we had any luck clearing the way in?
Yeah, and by now you have managed, this is just moments before you manage to finally clear the way in.
Okay. Once we get in, seeing Franco unconscious, I'll rush over and try to first aid him.
Alright, give me a first aid roll, please. There's quite a lot of blood. He should not have been walking around in that state. But yes, that is a success. That is, I think, 1 point of health. Franco. But the bleeding has been stopped, for now at least.
The brilliance of Victorian medicine.
Yeah. Some pressure compressors. Like,
Pretty much, probably just plugged the hole with probably cravat or something like that, just because it's
That's what cravats are useful for.
pretty much sealed it as much as I could so he stops bleeding out. And see if I can bring him round.
Yeah, you can sort of bring him round. Franco, you come to your senses with Mortimer leaning down over you.
Hi. Okay.
You forgot to mention you were bleeding.
Oh, yeah. I was not in my mind. Right. It just pain and blood and.
At least you found the cellar.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I also, yeah. I think we should go somewhere where I can just sleep that off. Maybe. I think that's enough for one evening.
I shall have a quick look around in the cellar. Is there anything interesting I see?
You know, make me a spot hidden whilst you're down there poking around. Looking around. Doesn't seem to be much. It seems to be mostly rotten ruin down here.
Yeah, I'm just doing a quick look to see if anything stands out, and to me
You can
nothing
see,
does.
it looks like remains of what was the library fell down here, but that was 5 years ago, and anything that wasn't burnt has long since sort of rotted.
in the water.
The water's... This place looks like it's been flooded several times at high tide. Yeah, Morgan?
I'm with them.
Yep.
You guys, so I got a success in the spot hidden.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's simple success. Again, said looking down, you can see that mostly this is the library and stuff that fell down here. It looks. You can tell that this place has been flooded several times. You can also tell that it looks like someone has been through here for anything that might have been valuables from the house. Like there's no sort of a house this nice would have had valuable items in it, and there's none of those down here. So it looks like someone has already removed things to a certain extent. You can tell sort of by the absence that someone has been through here. And either in official capacity or opportunist thieves, you don't know, but it looks like someone scoured this place for what they saw as valuable.
Could even be the fish people.
Or the fish people. But yes, with just a success, nothing really to see.
Or a nosy reporter that's bleeding out.
Or a nosy reporter for bleeding out is already...
You're not bleeding out now, though.
Yes.
But, yeah, after having a quick look around, I'll probably try and help Franco up and start making our exit, I think.
Alright, so you head back up and out into the night. And yeah. Are you finished with the Bellfont estate now? You headed back into London? Or if you have any other business that evening?
I think we've finished with this estate, but Franco, do you want me to have a look at that injury a bit?
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I had a piece of wood in there. It might be good if probably something to, I don't know.
Well, next time it happens, don't pull it out.
Yeah, I heard that, I think, but I was just...
Chances
it was
are,
instinctive.
chances are if we get somewhere where there's better light, or perhaps at the London Esoteric Society, or somewhere else where we've got time and space, I'll probably treat that, but I don't know if we need to do anything after that.
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna head back, get apply some proper treatment to Franco's wounds. I think you're now 2 out of 3 with some quite bad wounds. Ending up because Morgan's still not recovered from his injuries at the graveyard the other night.
I mean, I still had hit point problems from that night as well. And then I was like down to 4, and now I'm like at 5.
It's proving a dangerous line of work, but you can give me a medicine roll for your treatments once you get back to the society. And to James, who just brings bandages and hot water and doesn't say a word.
You want to push that?
Do you want to push that, or put luck into it, or accept it as a failure?
I mean,
Just push it.
if I push it and fail it, I can't do a thing about it. And it could end up a lot worse.
Yeah, essentially, if you push it and fail it, you may cause him further
more
injury.
damage.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm just.
There's still 5 hit points. 5 hit points face. Just go for it. It's fine.
1d6 of extra damage could take that though. Yeah, I'm going to use the 6 luck to succeed in that roll.
Yeah, so give me a 1d3, please. Yeah. Medicine.
Franco, do you want to roll that, or should I roll it?
A D6? Then what?
D3.
D3? Sure. That's a 2.
Alright.
Wow, I'm over half health again. Yay!
That's probably good.
And now I can't take it with a high D6 again.
Start to be, it's going to take you a little time to properly mend up, but
yep.
The process has begun. And I think that probably concludes the events of the day of March. Was that the 25th of March? As after your visit to the Bellfont estates, it's night by the time you return back to London proper. And my question to you now is, how urgently do you want to pursue your next actions? Would you like to take a few days to heal and rest up and properly recover from injuries, or do you have things that you feel are urgently need to be addressed? Also, Morgan, you can untick your bout of madness. Your paranoia does begin to fade back to its normal levels. You're not so you can still remain as suspicious as people as you like, but
he's always suspicious.
That perhaps some of that might have been the situation getting to you a little.
Well, I don't think we're planning to do anything dangerous. So, whether we want to check on the doctor the following day.
Just saying, the doctor has this patient that is possibly a monster that might be quite dangerous.
True, but hopefully the doctor will be in the way.
So you think feed him first and then... Okay. I'm not sure if I'm very fast with this one, but I'm fine.
No.
We can do that.
I have an idea.
Good.
Dr. Lake doesn't know I'm with the London Esoteric Society. He only met me at my sister's party.
True.
So, and we had discussed medicine. If I was in Brighton, I think his sanatorium is. Oh, I could always visit him on a professional level to see how he is.
True, but he knows the other two of us, so we can't go and back you up.
True.
That would mean you're alone there, and that might be fucking dangerous.
True. I'll be armed.
We can wait you outside and just one shoot, we can come in if we hear something.
That sounds feasible.
Or I suppose we could give it a couple of days to heal up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean-
Rest.
You know what? To be honest, to this point, to confront the doctor with what we learned.
Are we waiting to hear back if anyone regards any information?
Sounds fair.
We could always wait.
I mean, what's the worst that he could possibly do with the time that we give him that way? Not really a lot, right? We have he's got like 3 different cult people in his sanatorium, right? Bellfont, the homeless person with the Bidwell in it, and the lady is in the Vane, exactly.
Seems the sanatorium's a good place to gather cultists.
I mean, that's obviously the case, but they're all different cultists, so also different cults. Do you think they're just gonna, do the same way other religions do?
Remember what we spoke about last time. We have a good chance that Bellfont could escape in someone else's body after learning the secrets of Bidwell.
Yep, that is an option.
We cannot do nothing. We can't do nothing about it.
The question is, how likely is it that happens within the next couple of days, and makes how important is it that we do it now?
Lucinda was taken this morning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Maybe. What are you thinking?
Could the doctor be already possessed? It's been
I don't really know.
Days, huh? It's been a few days.
Could be.
A few days that
Well, we'll definitely see. If Mortimer goes there and tries to have their talk, and he doesn't know his stuff anymore, that would be a clear sign that he has switched with Bidwell.
True. Or could discuss matters that I had already spoken with Dr. Lake about.
Yeah. That sounds like something we should have in mind at that point. But do we need to check it out right now?
Well,
should we heal or should we not?
I think both of you probably need to rest. You've got some serious injuries. And there is something really strange going on, because the person I spoke with had told me that they were going to deal with Dr. Lake. So I was under the impression, once I realised this person may have been involved with the Black Pharaoh cult as such, which, yes, okay, that's what things are looking like.
So we need to be faster than them.
Well, potentially, but I think they are aware that the cult of Dagon are involved. And I think they're taking action against the cult of Dagon, against Dr. Lake and Charles Bellfont.
This entire thing is just so much of a clusterfuck.
Yes.
Oh boy.
And the matter is, what can they do? But I don't think we have the idea that you had is a good one, and I think we can back you up still being wounded. We should do that and then heal. Right? As long as there's nothing happening, we get to win, and we can still be like the cavalry coming in, because you're still fine. Right? And if it goes horribly wrong, we're dead anyway, if we were healthy or not.
right? So I guess I think we should take the chance.
And check perhaps tomorrow.
Exactly.
We
We'll
could
get a night's rest, and it'll look better tomorrow anyway.
Well, we could always take a carriage there. You two could stay in the carriage, and the carriage could wait
Exactly.
outside. Well, actually, it's quite a journey for a carriage, isn't it? We'll probably get a train there.
Get the train there and get the carriage there.
And you two could wait in the carriage. I'll have got a gun or two with me anyway on my person. And worst case scenario, I shoot something.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next morning, I
have something small for the night still.
Oh yes.
There's this beautiful statue that's like making sounds of the sea.
Yes.
That's really good to sleep on, right? I'm gonna just have it.
Could you give me a power roll, please?
Oh yeah, that's great.
As you drift to sleep, holding this lovely little statuette you found in the Bellfont basement. And as you fall asleep, you find yourself drifting down into dreams. And you dream. The first thing you remember in this dream is darkness. And then the cold, and you realize you are down at the depths of the ocean. The water cold and dark around you. Masses of water crushing down above you. Around you, sort of strange creatures of the deep, lit by their own luminescent light, swim in the depths of this darkness. And as you find yourself almost against your own volition, drawn forwards, step by step through this darkness, half swimming, half walking, you see ahead of you a city, great blocks of stone rising from the mud and dirt at the base of this ocean. And you hear this sense of this voice calling you forwards. This whisper that is both the sound of moving water in the ocean, but also a voice calling something older and stranger than you ever heard before, beckoning you onwards, calling you forwards, this song in your ears. And you reach the door of this large temple-like building down here beneath the sea. And you find yourself placing your hand and pushing this great stone door forwards. And as you do so, you wake up. With that instant realization, if you just dreamt a little longer, you would have seen what was behind that door. But not tonight.
The first thought is like, I have to tell the others about that. I forgot when, all the wounds and injuries and stuff. But I need to tell them. But then I'm not gonna see what's behind that door. I think I'm just gonna put it in my drawer. I mean, none of them are really good at snooping around. They'll not try to look for it. They don't even know it exists. It's fine.
Other than that, it is a relatively restful night for everyone. And the next morning, you take the train down to Brighton. Is that correct?
Yep.
A little bit rested up from what has been quite a long day yesterday. You take the train down out of the city, down towards the south coast. And it's a blustery March day, with clouds gathering on the horizon. It looks like there might be a storm blowing in. It's not... The forecast doesn't look good. As you arrive at Brighton, you can take a carriage up to Elbrook Sanatorium, which stands pretty much on this cliff top overlooking the sea. This impressive brick-built building with this wall around the grounds. And the wind now whipping at the bare branch trees along the cliff top. Seagulls wheeling and circling above. As you arrive at the gates of Elbrook, and am I correct in thinking Franco and Morgan are staying outside and just Mortimer is heading in? Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so you park the carriage outside the gates. Are you just leaving it right by the gate, or are you trying to like stay some distance away? I suppose you want to be near enough to hear gunshots. You said, right?
I think so. It depends on the two that are still in the carriage.
What do you want to do? Do you want to park up right next to the gate?
I think we'd park the carriage like far enough that you can't. I mean, there's probably like curtains on the windows, right?
On some of them, yes.
So those would probably be closed so that nobody, looks in there and sees that there's still people inside. And then we would have it like where you would normally park the carriage.
As if you just left it, it's in the park.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you've got a carriage driver, you'd be waiting there for someone to pick them up.
Exactly.
Yeah, just stick it by the door.
Definitely not a kidnapped carriage.
Yes. So you park up and sit sort of... So probably through the gates and into the drive at the front of the place, just, staying quiet. But perfectly normal place to leave your carriage. Sort of horse, kind of pacing, twitching a bit, looking a bit bored. As Mortimer heads inside and you see this big entrance hall with this nice desk with this secretary / receptionist, nurse position man sat at the front desk.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Sorry, I didn't know we were expecting any visitors today.
No, I was spending the weekend at the coast, and I'd spoken to Dr. Nathan Lake a week or so ago at a social function, and I thought, seeing I was in the area, I'd see how he was and have a nice professional chat as a fellow doctor.
I'm afraid Dr. Lake is in a meeting at the moment, a gentleman down from London.
Oh. That's unfortunate. Hadn't expected to. Well, he's a
and
busy
actually, you
man,
would have noticed as you arrived, there was already another carriage parked outside the front door.
Would
a
I
much
recognise...
nicer carriage. It looks to be a higher carriage, but an expensive hired one.
Okay. I'm just wondering if I actually know this gentleman. I've travelled from London myself.
I've heard it's a very big place.
Well, there's a lot of people there. I'm going to start describing someone. I'm going to describe Earl Grey and see if that matches the description.
So are you just describing him to the receptionist?
Yeah, just wondering if this was the gentleman.
I'm sorry, confidentiality.
Course.
It's a private family matter.
Oh.
I'm afraid I could not reveal the gentleman's identity.
It is fair. I understand patient confidentiality. It's okay. I thought it might have been someone else I knew from London, but oh well. I'm probably going to be here for the weekend, so I may pop in.
I can see if Dr. Lake can see you when he's done with his meeting. If you'd like to wait.
No, it's okay. I'll pop in. I'm going to be here for a few days. I suppose, try and enjoy what there is of the sunshine. It's not exactly the right season for...
No, it looks like, looks like there's a bad storm blowing in.
Does seem that way. But thank you for your time. Sorry to have bothered you. And I shall leave.
Okay. As you head out down to, you can see your carriage and the other carriage nearby.
And I'm glad I didn't give my name. But yes, I'll head to our carriage.
You find the others waiting.
Oh, that was quick.
Yes, he's in a private meeting with a gentleman from London. You may have noticed that of the carriage.
Okay. Did they say how long that was going to be?
Not as such. I was given the opportunity to wait, but I...
Might be your friend warning the guy, talking to Lake.
And he's just warned me off. Actually, the other carriage, the carriage driver's there. I could always ask him who... offer him some money. Just be a bit nosy.
Yeah, if you want to go, if someone wants to go try and chat to the carriage driver, I'll accept any form of social check here for trying to wheedle some information out of the guy. So
Yes,
persuasion, charm, fast talk, depends on what approach you take. Even intimidation, if you choose to take that line of
I'm going to go with charm. I'm a charming person. Everyone likes me. I'm not suspicious at all.
Okay, yeah, get talking to him. Yeah.
I'll probably... good morning. Well, morning, I should say.
Yeah, morning it is.
I was just on my way here to meet with the doctor of the sanatorium to discuss something, and he's already had a meeting, and I suspect you may have dropped off the gentleman he had a meeting with. So,
yeah, I did.
I'd like to say it was professional, but I'm just being nosy because I'm curious who he's meeting with. Simply because the receptionist wouldn't tell me who it was.
Yeah, give you a charm. Let's see with you clicking with this guy.
Would it be worth me offering money?
I don't think that. No, I don't.
No, just do it as a
charm. I don't think that's really going to, because this is kind of about rapport building here. Like, you know, this is nothing suspicious. He's just chatting. Yeah, it's picked him up at the station. Very fancy. Is it Earl of like the tea, Earl Grey.
Who would have thought? I bet he doesn't look like a cup.
No, looks like exactly what I'd imagine an Earl to look like, to be honest. Very fancy.
Yes, I do know of him. He's quite well known, but I'm not sure how these Earls make their money. I don't think they have to work.
I mean,
do they?
They're not working men.
Exactly.
No.
But that's interesting. Yeah. And he travelled here on his own.
Yeah, on his own. I think he's here to pick someone up. I didn't get the details, but that's what I gathered. He's here to pick.
Yes. The thing you have to watch about these nobles, there's all sorts of stories about them having people locked up in sanatoriums and the like. So, yes. Oh well. Thank you for your time. I was just curious.
No, it's nice to chat. He made us get here right early. He seemed in a real rush about it. Don't know what he thinks is going to happen if he's late. But
probably miss a meal or something, so he wants to be back in time.
He's got an important engagement, but
some function. Yeah. Well, thank you. It's really nice chatting to you.
No, it's nice. Good to meet you. Have a good day.
You too, and I'll head back to everyone else in the carriage. The other carriage. Franco, Morgan.
Yeah.
It is my friend who's turned up here to collect someone.
We should be gone.
Yeah, I don't think this doctor's going to have much of a choice in the matter, I think. Yeah. Yes, let's make our way back to the train station and make our... I think something's happening.
Yeah. I mean, think... You know what? I know you know that look already.
You're not going to climb up a wall and fall over again, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna go behind
Or
there.
fall through a floor?
Just lay down in that high grass over there and just watch him leave. Him and who else is gonna go be out there? Just
If he does pick someone up.
exactly. Whether he did or whether he didn't.
What do you think, Morgan? What should we do? Oh, the other carriage. He picked the person up from the train station, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, we'll know when he leaves anyway. So we could wait at the train station. I'd have to stay very much out of sight. And Morgan could always keep an eye out to see when that carriage arrives.
We could
Yeah,
do
that's
that.
probably well. Probably swell. Yeah, I think I have enough for the ticket back. I can just look here.
Or once the other carriage arrives here, we can head back to pick you up.
Or like that, yeah. I mean, because you can watch at the I mean, somebody might miss something, right? If we have two spots where we look, that might be helpful.
Sounds a plan.
Good, and I'm gonna go and hop out and just go straight. Basically, look for a place where I can see the entrance and that carriage, and just lay down in the grass, flat, and make myself small. I'm lean. I'm not. I mean, if somebody looks from the up or from above, it'll look like I'm just sunbathing or something.
And I don't think he hasn't actually spoken to you.
I mean, El Grey didn't, but Dr. Lake certainly did.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you're lying down in the grass. Give me one of that good old stealth roll. Let's see how well hidden you're going to be. And the other two of you, what are you two? Are you?
Those 7 points I'm gonna give you because I'm not gonna want to risk even more hit points.
Yeah, you're unseen. No one happens to be looking out of any windows, and no one doing a search around the grounds. So you're hiding out there, and the other two of you, did you say you were going to the station?
Yeah.
Okay, so you head back down to Brighton Station, and you setting up some kind of stakeout here? Or what's your plan?
I think the plan was to keep an eye out for that other carriage getting back. But I was going to be trying to stay out of sight because obviously the Earl knows me.
Obviously.
And I think Morgan was going to keep an eye out for the carriage because although I don't think he spoke to the Earl. So...
Yeah, I don't think the Earl's... I mean, McCreshley was at the party, but the Earl don't think really spoke to him, I don't...
No,
can't remember. No.
Oh, I stayed away when with Lady Irene.
Yes, yeah. So I'm not going to ask for a stealth roll from you because no one's... If you're just hanging out in the station, it's not intrinsically suspicious behaviour like hiding in the grass outside a sanatorium.
No, I'm just at the station like a regular person.
Yeah, you're waiting for a train. It's perfectly normal behaviour. But yeah. So time passes. Franco is cold and damp in the grass. you what, give me a listen check whilst you're waiting here. Yeah. Or you can hear the sound of the sea. You can hear the seagulls, and then there is the sound. So are you in sight of the front doors where you're hidden?
Wait.
Would you be able to see what's happening at the front of the?
Yeah, I wanted to see when they would enter, so I would know where the Earl Grey took
Yes, so you
Lady
see
Vane with him or something.
as the front door of the sanatorium opens and 3 figures emerge. The first of them is Earl Grey himself, sort of stomping down the steps in high dudgeon. He does not seem pleased with the situation. And the second figure looks to be some kind of servant, manservant, and they are pretty much carrying the third figure. She's like slumped against him and seems to be being like half carried towards the carriage.
Okay.
You're not close enough to tell if she's unconscious but she might be. As they sort of
Can I see who it is, or is
you can see as you get close enough, you can tell well enough that it is Lucinda Vane.
Okay.
And they sort of bundle her into the carriage.
I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna stay right where I am, hidden. Yeah, just watch him leave.
And the carriage trundles out the gates.
Yeah, then I'm gonna leave it, give it some time, and then start going back towards the train station. Are you making some way just to prevent Dr. Lake from accidentally finding me anyway?
Yeah. Okay, so as you head back down to the train station, you're moving quite a bit slower than the carriage, so you're going to not get there till some time after it arrives. Meanwhile, plus a little bit of time, the carriage arrives down towards Brighton Station, and Morgan, you recognise the carriage as it pulls up. The train is in the station at this point. It's not due to leave for about 15 minutes or so, but it's sort of idling in the station. It's getting its water refilled, coal refilled, and you see as this carriage pulls up and Earl Grey steps down, and behind him comes this manservant, and you're close enough to see he's pretty much carrying mostly unconscious seeming Lucinda Vane. Sort of like one arm around her as he sort of carries her towards the train. She looks, as you pass by, you can see she looks pretty pale and sickly looking, but I don't know, I mean, you're no doctor. You can make me a medicine roll if you would like, but I don't know if you have any medical training. But as they carry her towards the train, towards the first class carriages at the top of the train. Well, the end of the train, the furthest from the engine. And sort of climb off into the first class compartment.
Interesting. We got a little girl, Mark. I'll hop in again. I'll buy a newspaper. And after I'll go back to our own carriage and relay what I just saw to Dr. Mortimer. He's got Lucinda Vane back.
He said he was going to get her back for her father.
And also, I don't think, is this the first time, Morgan, that you that the man has been identified as Earl Grey, because I don't think Davenport had actually told you it was Earl Grey before, had he? So it was always yes.
Yeah, you wouldn't actually. You might not know who it was, but you would have recognised
he saw Earl Grey at the party, so he knows who Earl Grey is. He saw him at the party.
I wasn't sure if it had been pointed out to him as Earl Grey. He would have seen him at the party,
so.
but I don't know.
I think he was.
May have been.
Yeah, he was pointed out. So yeah, you now know who this mysterious contact is, or at least it's either him or a third party. But yeah.
Yeah, and,
They have her back.
yep.
I'm still not sure whether that's a good or a bad thing, but I think it's less bad than where she was. Should we go and pick Franco up? We could always talk on the way.
Let's do that.
And we'll head on the way to collect Franco.
Okay, and you'll probably meet him on the road as he's trudging back towards Brighton. You pick him up.
Now that I left, I was like, could have gone try to glean how the doctor feels about stuff that goes on there, but to be honest, it doesn't really help.
Not at this point.
Yeah, I would be entering the, why would I walk when I can ride the carriage, right? So entering as fast as possible and, say, okay, I saw that they carried her out, that she was unconscious or dead. Something like that. And yeah, that I heard something wavy, but sound was beautiful out there. I was thinking I might have heard something and then couldn't understand it, but I didn't hear anything, so that's fine. Never mind.
I'd actually told Earl Grey, because of the family connections, that that's a point I forgot to mention this. I'd been told that Nathan Lake had been fired as the family doctor. I'd not realised he'd been fired, but apparently he used to be the doctor, and then he had some sort of disagreement with Percy Vane, the master of the house.
Oh.
And he got fired. But anyhow, Earl Grey had said he was going to talk to Percy, which is Mr. Vane, to sort something out to get Lucinda home. But I'd actually told him that if he needed something official, he could put my name forward as a new family doctor of the Vanes. That if he needed some sort of official medical thing, he doesn't have to stick by it, but it'd be enough, perhaps, medical leeway to have her released from wherever she was. But I don't know if that's what he's gone and done.
What? It's really peculiar. Like, the guy was a former doctor of the family, and still he managed to take Lucinda Vane away from her father. What does this doctor have on the Vane family that Percy Vane just left his daughter to him, knowing that he's not the doctor anymore of the family?
I believe, from what I could tell, he was friends with Lucinda. At the party we were at, he was talking to her.
Friends not enough to take someone away from her family.
I believe he may have tricked her father with some sort of perhaps legal jargon. Some nonsense. But at least he doesn't have her.
Anymore. I don't think it's better.
I don't think it's better, but
Problem is we don't know about either. I mean, at least with Dr. Lake, at least we know where he was vaguely trying to get to. But with Earl Grey, we have no clue where he fits in.
No, but we could find out easy enough.
True.
Because we know where the Grey estate is. Well, not the Grey estate, I mean the Vane estate, sorry.
Yeah,
I think he was going to try and get her back for him. But you said she didn't look at well?
No, she didn't. She looked really pale. Like I'm not sure she's alive pale.
I don't think they'd bother carrying a dead body onto a train.
Yeah.
In broad daylight. At least if she was simply unconscious, they could argue that she's, and from what you were saying, she could have been rather sickly and they could pass it off, but a dead body, you can't really pass that off as anything else, so. But we could at least probably have a look, or someone could always have a snoop at the Vane estate. But yes, I think that's as much as we can do here, unless we wish to put ourselves at risk.
We don't mind going in a risk, but we kind of need to know what we're doing before we do that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think we should probably just rest up a bit, and I asked my brother for his connections. I'm not really confident that that's going to show anything up, but we kind of need more access to different occultists just so we can leverage multiple ways of investigation and aren't like stuck once the Esoteric Society's library is just
And I have had a plan. I could also write to Dr. Lake in a professional capacity and just as a polite matter, just ask him for his input, perhaps his professional advice on his profession, because he's an alienist, which is very much different to what I do. I could always ask him for advice on perhaps reading material that he would consider necessary, should I choose to branch out.
That sounds good, though he's probably not going to give you interesting stuff.
No, I don't expect to get any occult or anything like that, but I may find out more information in the letter.
Yes, well,
depends on what you let slip.
It sounds like you have plans for the research, recuperation, reconnaissance, and other things beginning with R. So I think this is probably a good point as any to leave things off for tonight as you head back towards London.